6 years ago, Sarah got the promotion she'd been working toward for almost a decade. New title, new office, new salary, 40% higher than before. She celebrated. Her family celebrated. And for a few weeks, everything felt different. But here's what Sarah told me 18 months later. I make more money than I ever have in my life. And I feel more broke than I did at 28. She wasn't spending recklessly. She wasn't gambling. She wasn't making obvious mistakes. She was just living at the level her paycheck suggested she could afford. Because the raise didn't change Sarah's bank account. The raise changed Sarah's identity. And once your identity changes, your spending follows. Quietly, automatically, without a single conscious decision. This video is about that mechanism. Not the raise, not the spending. The invisible system that connects the two. The invisible system that drains the gap between them before you ever see it. Same person, bigger paycheck, emptier account. Here's exactly why that happens and what to do about it. Here's what most people believe about money. Work hard, get promoted, earn more, and the money problems slowly, naturally take care of themselves. It's a logical idea. It's also almost completely wrong, because the data tells a different story. As income rises, savings rates don't automatically rise with it. For a significant portion of middle and upper middle income earners, the percentage of income saved actually decreases as they earn more. More money, lower savings rate. Read that again. Not because these people are irresponsible, not because they're bad with numbers, but because of something that happens long before the spreadsheet, something that happens in the mind. When your income rises, your reference point shifts, not dramatically, not overnight, but consistently in one direction. The things you used to consider luxuries start to feel like basics. The things you used to call basics start to feel inadequate. A used car becomes embarrassing. A modest apartment becomes temporary. A home-cooked meal on a Tuesday becomes somehow optional. When your income rises, your social circle often shifts with it, or your perception of your social circle shifts. You start comparing yourself to different people. The colleague with the new car, the neighbor with the renovation, the friend who just booked the trip you've been thinking about. Relative deprivation doesn't feel like envy. It feels like falling behind. The raise arrives. The lifestyle expands to meet it. And 6 months later, the account looks almost identical to before. Same person, bigger paycheck. Same financial pressure, sometimes more. This isn't a willpower problem, it's a system problem. And once you understand the system, you can actually change it. Let's talk about how this actually works. Because lifestyle creep isn't one big decision, it's 40 small ones, and none of them feel like mistakes when you make them. It starts with what psychologists call anchoring. When your salary was $50,000, your brain had a reference point. Rent at $1,200 felt reasonable. A $10 lunch felt normal. A weekend trip once a year felt like enough. Then the salary becomes $70,000. Your anchor shifts. Rent at $1,600 now feels appropriate for someone at your level. A $15 lunch is barely a rounding error. Each individual shift is defensible. Together, they consume the entire raise. There's a second mechanism at work here: social recalibration. When your income rises, your social circle often shifts with it. Behavioral economists call this relative deprivation, the feeling of having less, not because you actually have less, but because your comparison point has moved up. Relative deprivation doesn't feel like envy. It feels like falling behind. So you spend not to show off, but to feel like you're keeping up. And here's what's insidious about it. Relative deprivation doesn't feel like envy. It feels like falling behind. And that feeling is what drives the spending. The third mechanism is the most invisible of all: fixed cost creep. Variable spending gets most of the attention. But fixed costs are where the real damage happens. Because fixed costs are silent, they don't ask permission every month, they just leave. A bigger apartment, An extra $600 a month. A car payment that finally feels reasonable, $450 a month. A gym membership at the nicer place, $80 a month. Streaming services, subscription boxes, premium plans, another $120. None of these feel significant individually. Together, that's $1,250 a month, $15,000 a year, gone. Automatically, before a single discretionary decision is made. And the brutal part, fixed costs are easy to add. They are very hard to remove. Imagine two versions of the same person. Version A gets a $20,000 raise and saves 50% of it. Over 10 years, invested at a modest return, that's roughly $140,000. Version B gets the same raise, upgrades the apartment, gets the car, lives at the new level, saves nothing additional. 10 years later, version A has $140,000 more in assets than version B. Same person, same raise, same decade. Version B doesn't feel irresponsible. Version B feels like they're finally living the life they worked for. That feeling is real. That feeling is also extremely expensive. The raise didn't make you richer. The raise made you feel like you could afford to stop thinking about money. And that feeling, that's where the money goes. Let's make this real, not abstract, not theoretical, real numbers, real people, real consequences. Meet Jake. Jake is 41 years old. He's been in his career for 15 years. He's been promoted 3 times. Jake is not reckless. Jake is not stupid. Jake has a good life. At 26, he made $48,000. At 31, $64,000. At 36, $82,000. Today, at 41, he makes $97,000, nearly double what he started with. Jake also has $34,000 in savings, 15 years of work, nearly a doubling of income, $34,000. When Jake sits down and does the math, really does the math, he realizes something uncomfortable. If he had saved just 20% of every raise he received over 15 years and invested it at an average market return, he would have over $190,000 today. He has $34,000. The gap, $156,000, didn't go to anything dramatic. It went to the apartment upgrade at 31, the lease on the car at 34, the nicer neighborhood at 37, the subscriptions, the meals, the trips that became the baseline. Jake didn't lose $156,000. Jake spent $156,000 on a lifestyle upgrade he no longer even notices. Because here's the thing about lifestyle creep. Once the upgrade becomes the baseline, you stop enjoying it. You just maintain it. Now meet Emma. Emma and Jake started at the same company the same year. Same starting salary, same city, same industry. Emma's raises were almost identical to Jake's. Today she also makes $96,000. Emma has $218,000 in investments. Every time she got a raise, she did one thing before anything else. She automated 50% of the net increase directly to her investment account. The same day the raise hit, before she could see it, before she could spend it, before her lifestyle could find it. The other 50% she spent freely, without guilt. Emma didn't live like a monk. Emma just made sure the raise had to pass through a filter before it reached her lifestyle. Same person, same career, same city, same decade. $184,000 difference. What did Emma do differently? Not much on the surface. Jake, $34,000. Emma, $218,000. Same raises, different architecture, completely different outcomes. It's not income. It's not discipline, it's not intelligence, it's architecture. Jake's financial system was designed, by default, to send every dollar of every raise straight to lifestyle. Emma's financial system was designed, deliberately, to intercept the raise before lifestyle could claim it. Now let's talk about the number most people never calculate. The true cost of a lifestyle upgrade. When you upgrade your apartment by $500 a month, you don't just spend $500 a month, you spend $6,000 a year. Over 10 years, that's $60,000. But that $60,000, invested at a modest return over 10 years, would have become approximately $86,000. So the real cost of that apartment upgrade over a decade is not $500 a month, it's $86,000 in future wealth. That's the number nobody calculates when they sign the lease. They calculate, can I afford this? The right question is, what am I permanently trading for this? The average American gets a raise of roughly 3 to 5% per year. On a $70,000 salary, that's $2,100 to $3,500 per year. Over a 30-year career, if every single raise is absorbed by lifestyle, the total wealth destruction, accounting for compound growth, is somewhere between $400,000 and $700,000. Not lost in bad investments, not stolen, not wasted on one big mistake, quietly consumed, one small upgrade at a time over 30 years. That is the real price of lifestyle creep. Jake isn't a cautionary tale. Jake is the default. The system, if you don't design it deliberately, will always choose lifestyle over wealth. Always. Because lifestyle is visible, immediate, and feels like reward. Wealth is invisible, delayed, and feels like sacrifice. Your brain will choose Jake every single time unless you build Emma's architecture first. Let's bring this together. Because this video was never really about lifestyle creep. It was about something more fundamental. It was about the gap between the life you're building and the life you think you're building. Most people who are caught in lifestyle inflation don't feel like they're making a mistake. They feel like they're making progress. And that's the cruelest part of this trap. It disguises itself as success. So what do you actually do about it? Not in theory, not someday, right now. The first thing, the 50% rule. Every raise you receive from this point forward, before you spend a single dollar of it, send 50% directly to your investment account. Automate it the same day the new paycheck hits. You will not miss what you never see. Your lifestyle will adjust to the remaining 50% increase automatically. This one change, applied consistently over a decade, is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Not because it's aggressive, because it's automatic. The second thing, the true cost calculation. Before any recurring expense, any subscription, any lease, any upgrade, ask one question. What is the 10-year compounded cost of this decision? $300 more per month in rent is not $300. It is $51,000 over 10 years. $400 per month car payment is not $400. It is $68,000 over 10 years. You don't have to say no to everything, but you should know the real number before you say yes to anything. The third thing, the lifestyle audit. Once a year, not once a month, not constantly, sit down and ask one question about every fixed cost in your life. If this didn't exist today, would I add it? If the answer is no, that expense is not serving you. It's just surviving in your budget because removing it feels like going backward. That feeling is not a fact. This is the most important one. Lifestyle creep is powerful because it feels like reward, and you have earned something. The question is what you want your reward to look like. A bigger apartment is visible. Options are invisible. A new car is immediate. Financial independence is delayed. Not having to work because you need to. Only working because you choose to. That is a different category of reward entirely. The goal isn't to stop enjoying your income. The goal is to make sure a portion of every raise goes toward buying back your future freedom before your lifestyle claims it first. Here's the truth about Jake and Emma. Jake isn't behind because he made bad decisions. Jake is behind because he never made a decision. He let the default system run. And the default system, in every economy, at every income level, is designed to convert raises into lifestyle. Emma made one decision, one filter, one automatic redirect. And that single architectural choice, compounded over 15 years, created a $184,000 difference between two people with nearly identical incomes. Same person, bigger paycheck, emptier account. Now you know exactly why. And more importantly, now you know exactly what to change. The raise raise isn't the problem. The raise is the opportunity. The only question is whether you intercept it before your lifestyle does. If this video changed the way you think about your next raise, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to go deeper on building a financial system that actually works, the next video is right there.